Lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
We turn now to the Hashkivenu, which asks God to watch over us as we lie down tonight, to spread over us a Sukkat Shalom, a shelter of peace over each one of us, over all we love, our friends, our family, our community, over all creation. We ask God to bless us with that peace so that we can wake up tomorrow to life renewed, life restored, to a life ready to do Tikkun Olam, repairing God's creation another day.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. Hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukkat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukkat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Turning to words of Torah, we sing with joy and with ruach, with energy, these words that remind us that this day of Shabbat is meant to keep us, to renew us, and to renew our souls.
ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולדורם. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולדורם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולדורם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני, את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולדורם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולדורם.
We rise now in body and spirit for the tefillah.
Adonai sifat tivtach Ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Gula Libnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah, Rav leHoshia. Mashiv HaRuach Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chahayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yihalelu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el hakadosh.
We take a moment now in silent prayer and reflection.
Say shalom. You can be seated if you want. Roma. Oh, say shalom. Be Roma. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. Come on, you guys know it. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Be Roma. Oh, say shalom. Be Roma. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. 1, 2, 3, and may the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
So as I mentioned at the beginning of the service, this Shabbat is called Shabbat Hagadol, the Great Shabbat. And it's called as such because in ancient times, the rabbis would give only 2 sermons a year. Not on Rosh Hashanah, not on Yom Kippur, not any other Shabbat of the year, except for 2. The Shabbat right before Rosh Hashanah, to remind us all about the laws and customs and rules of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and the High Holy Days, and on this Shabbat right now, leading into Pesach, so that the rabbis could go over in meticulous detail all of the kosher laws of Passover, what made matzah, what made it not matzah, what we could eat, what we couldn't eat, depending on if we were Ashkenazim or Sephardim. And so here we go. But no, I'm not going to go on for hours and hours and hours, as was the custom of the rabbis of old. What I am going to discuss with you tonight is about this moment we're in. Every time we've had a service outside here at CDT, somebody who's been on the patio has mentioned to me, especially as it gets to about this point in the sun going down, of how beautiful it is behind me, and it's too bad I can't see the stained glass with the lights on. Well, I will say the same to all of you sitting on the patio. It's a shame you can't see the moon from where you're sitting. And I've been staring at the moon this entire service. This moon that is almost full. And it's as if it holds a promise of what is to come, just as Seder will tomorrow night. A year ago, when we sat down around our Seder tables, most of us with a very much smaller number than we were used to, streaming in from Zoom, whether to our congregational service or to services of our friends or family, we all had that similar thought as we said the words L'Shana Haba'ah B'Yerushalayim, and in fact, at our Seder, we added the words L'Shana Haba'ah B'CDT. Next year in, not at, in CDT. Well, we didn't quite make it. But this Passover, just like that almost full moon, holds such promise. It holds the promise of a redemption. Just as our ancestors were redeemed from bondage in Egypt thousands of years ago, this Passover holds that promise of a new world. A world that we can feel that we are on the cusp of. As more and more people vaccinated, as numbers go down, we can feel that things are changing. And it comes at a time of the year when there's rebirth in the air. Here outside, we can hear the birds chirping. We can feel the wind blowing. Such a juxtaposition against the storms of last night and really the storms of the last year. We're on the crossroads. We're on the cusp of something new. But Passover doesn't just bring that newness by itself. Passover, which we will begin tomorrow night by saying the words, all who are hungry, let them come and eat. All who are in need, let them celebrate the Passover with us. Doesn't end the journey to that newness, to freedom. No, it takes another journey afterwards. It took a lot of work to get to this point. It takes a lot of work to get away from Pharaoh to this moment of redemption, this moment of Passover. But that's not it. That's not where we end our story. Because as soon as the second Seder ends, we begin counting to the next. We begin a journey from this moment of redemption to Torah at Sinai. 7 weeks from Sunday, we will end the counting of the Omer, this counting up of the days of the 7 weeks between our two holy days. And we will then again come together to celebrate receiving God's gift, receiving Torah at Sinai. And we will collectively relive that moment, knowing that even that isn't the end of the story, and the journey continues on after that. So we mark this time, this Passover, as the beginning of our people's story towards Torah and towards the Promised Land, knowing full well that we are at that point where we are at a crossroads in our journey, and where we will have to continue traveling along, continue taking care of one another, of our family, of our friends, of our community, until we can reach that promised land sometime, God willing, soon in the future, the near future, where we can fulfill the wish that we uttered a year ago, the Shana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, the Shana Haba'a B'Yachad. Next year, all of us, without restrictions, together. Amen.
Amen.
Take a moment now as we think of those members of our community, our friends, our family, those in our immediate and broader circles who are in need of a prayer of healing. Some are in the hospital, some are at home recovering, and some we know have diseases and illnesses from which they may never recover. We think of all of them, all of those we know and love, all of those members of our holy congregation, and the thousands and thousands who are currently fighting COVID-19, and we ask for God's healing presence to be with them. We also think of all the healthcare workers, those on the front lines who fight diseases and illnesses every day and take care of the sick each day. May they be blessed with strength, courage, love, and support. We think of all of them as we sing this blessing.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misher Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Ve'avotenu Estos in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We rise now for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushamo echad.
Thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. At this sacred moment of our Shabbat worship, we think longingly and lovingly of those taken from us at this season in years past. We are marking the yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing on this Shabbat, of Ida Estroff Harris, Morris Waxgeyser, Jules Rose, Abraham Greenblatt, Jack Galler, Angela Kirsch, Carl Harold, Ellen Linsk, Betty Lehman, and Abraham Krulowitz. If you are remembering someone, I invite you to share their name out loud as my eyes meet yours. We think of all of those we have mentioned, all of those who we hold in our hearts, all of those whose presence and absence will be felt tomorrow around our Seder tables as we join our voices together in the words of Israel's supreme prayer of faith, the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'alma divrach yirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam l'almei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all the bereaved here and everywhere with the blessing of peace, as together wherever we are, we say, Amen. Please be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru. Amen.
Good Shabbos, everyone. It is great to see all of you here on the patio, as well as those of you joining us on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, our website, however you are joining us virtually, coming together with our community tonight. Just a few brief announcements before we conclude our service. We will continue celebrating Shabbat tomorrow morning at 9:15 with our Shabbat morning story time, followed at 10 a.m. by Shachrit Shabbat morning services. Tomorrow evening will be our congregational virtual Seder on Zoom. You are welcome to, from your own homes, join me and mine and Mike in his home as we welcome in Passover together. All of the resources for the Seder, whether joining us or doing your own, can be found on our website. It was sent also in an email that came out today. So if you're looking for our Haggadah that we use tomorrow night, it's right there on our website. So I hope to see you all tomorrow as we welcome in Passover together. We are on Passover break from religious school, so there will be no religious school this Sunday morning. However, we will have at 9 a.m. on Facebook a festival morning worship service. On Monday, as a reminder, our office is closed, but Molly's adult Hebrew class will still meet and study together on Zoom. And on Tuesday, our knitting and crochet group will be back on Zoom, and Mike will be back on Facebook at 7 p.m. for a little bit of Mike music. This Wednesday, we will not be having Torah study, but you're all invited to join together with members of CDT, members of Temple Beth Tikva, and members of Temple Kilat Chaim, as we come together for a lunch and learn where Rabbi Alexandria Shuval Weiner, Rabbi Jason Holtz, and I will enter into discussion together with each other and with all of you about the ideas of freedom and the lessons of Passover in our modern age. On Thursday, our prime timers will meet for coffee, and then next Friday night, Mike will be back for Kabbalat Shabbat on Zoom and Facebook and all the other places that it streams. So we hope that you have a great week of Pesach. We have a lot more coming up after Yantif, after the holiday, including a concert with Mike, Amy, and the band in mid-April. Dueling Pianos is coming back in May. A lot more other programs, events, classes, everything we can think of, services in person and virtually to get everyone together as much as possible over the next few months. So I hope to see you all both virtually and right back here in person. We will have more outdoor services. So pray for weather like this for the next 3 months, because this is perfect.
Well, just on at least Fridays and Saturdays.
Right, exactly. Just on Friday night.
Let's not be greedy.
Friday night, Saturday night, that's all we need. And if that happens, Dayenu, it will be enough. And to that point, that's what we'll finish with to get us ready for Passover. Let us sing together, Dayenu. And for those of you here, please rise.
Ilu hotzi hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et Shabbat, natan lanu et Shabbat, dayenu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et Torah, natan lanu et Torah, dayenu, 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 dayenu.
Baruch atah b'vorecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha. As you were blessed in coming into this community tonight, may you be blessed when you're going forth from it. Be blessed with the lessons of Torah, the lessons of love and companionship and compassion that our Torah teaches. So may we go forth to freedom, to life renewed, to a world more whole, more healthy, and full of peace. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom and Chag Sameach, everyone.
Chag Sameach.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.